6 minutes after the hour, Monday, January 27, 2020, 34 degrees outside. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill. There inside the Best Western Grand Tree on North 7th, across from Walmart. So go down there and tell them Tom and Shane sent you in. Tom Eagle Off your morning mayor, Shane and Tom and Half Man, Half Amazings in Vancouver, British Columbia. The international KMMS Morning Show, the award-winning, I might add, KMMS Morning Show, is up and at 'em. Got a quick housekeeping note. The Kingston Trio is going to join us, Shane. Not today, but later on in the middle of February. They're going to be in studio playing and singing. And we're going to give away some tickets to their concert here in Bozeman. They're coming to Bozeman. So any of you old-timers who remember the Kingston Trios, Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley, all those great old songs, that we all used to sing back in the day. And,
60s. 60s is way back.
Well, yeah, they were popular 57 to 61. Obviously, the originals are at least two of them are gone, and the son of one, and I think the cousin. I don't know. We'll get the timeline of.
But there are the mamas and papas time, and
well, they were way before the mamas and papas. Mama and papas were 70s. Well, yeah,
how about type of music?
Yeah, well, yeah. It was the. Well, they never liked to be.
Are we going to argue all day long?
Yeah.
The weather outside's nice.
I'm sorry?
No, I said, are we going to argue all day long?
Well, yeah, it's Monday. It's Monday.
It's because the weather outside is really nice.
Not here.
Anyway, it's Magnificent Monday, folks, and Tom has done a real good job bringing some really excellent people into the studio to talk to us. Now what? Oh, tell them the weather, will you? Because that's what they want to hear.
No, I want to tell them that the Kingston Trio were somewhat insulted by being called a folk group. They didn't like being called a folk group.
I didn't call them a folk
No, I know
group.
you didn't. I'm just pointing out a fact to the listeners. I didn't say you did.
Oh, my God, we are going to argue all day long.
I didn't say you said anything.
Well, I'm going to do it with a smile on my face, okay? Just to make you really upset.
Well, I don't know. But anyway, Kingston Trio's coming. I think their concert's February 9th.
Or I'll start arguing with you again.
You're going to argue about the date of the concert?
No, it's the weather. We're running out of time. It's 5:09. Let's go.
All right. Monday, hey, snow likely today, mainly before 10 a.m., patchy fog before noon, so be careful out there. Otherwise, cloudy, then gradually becoming sunny in the afternoon. We'll get a high near 37. Chance precip 60%, new snow accumulation of less than half an inch is possible, so we'll be checking in on that. And Monday night, partly cloudy tonight with a low around 25. Tomorrow, Tuesday, a 40% chance of snow, mainly after 11 o'clock. Mostly cloudy with a high near 43. And new snow accumulation less than half an inch is possible on Tuesday during the day. Tuesday night, 40% chance of snow, mostly cloudy, low around 27. And new snow accumulation of less than 1 inch is possible. Then coming in on Wednesday, it's going to be sunny, mostly sunny with a high near 42. And then Wednesday night, 20% chance of snow after 11 o'clock. And it's going to be mostly cloudy with a low around 28. Thursday, a chance of snow before 11 a.m. And then partly sunny with a high near 44. And Thursday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 31, rather. And on Friday, a slight chance of snow after 11 o'clock. Mixing with rain after 2 p.m. And it'll be cloudy with a high near 49. So that should be pretty nice. A little 49 temperature there. And then on Friday night, slight chance of rain and snow. Mostly cloudy with a low around 32. Then on Saturday, slight chance of rain and snow. Mostly cloudy with a high near 54. And then mostly cloudy on Saturday night with a low around 38. So that will keep you up to speed on the local weather. Temperatures around the area right now. Close out some stuff there. Livingston right now is 35 degrees. Manhattan's 32. Three Forks 32. Gallatin Gateway's 30 degrees. Big Sky's 24. They got some snow down there. West Yellowstone's 28. Gardner's 31. And Ennis is 32 at the airport in Belgrade right now. It's 32 degrees, and at our downtown studios at 11 minutes after 6, it's 34 degrees here. So pretty nice forecast, I guess. Not too much snow, things like that. The road conditions around Montana, boy, it's all bad. It's all bad. No matter where you're going, it's pretty much all bad. Particularly east of us, or west of us, I should say, not east of us. If you get out of Big Timber over to Billings, it's pretty nice. Leaving Livingston about halfway to Big Timber, it's ice and snow. And same if you're going down to Gardner from Livingston, you're gonna run into ice and snow about halfway down there. And then really nasty on the way to coming into Bozeman and coming into Livingston, or coming into Bozeman from Livingston, I should say, all the way over to, all the way over to Butte, Homestake Pass, ice and snow. Everything is yellow all the way over there. Ennis all the way down is bad. So if you don't have to go, don't go. All the way up to Helena, only just outside of Helena do we have green up there. So it's pretty nasty in all directions, except from Big Timber to Billings is about the only clear spot that I'm seeing. So it's not good there, Shane.
It's winter.
It is winter, isn't it? Yeah. Our poll question from Friday, should the Super Bowl be moved to Saturday? Well, 17% of you said yes, not for a hangover, but so you can be up later and the kids can watch it and go to bed and, get a decent night's sleep, not have to be groggy in school the next day. So, I think that would be a good idea. No, tradition is tradition. I'll call in sick on Monday. 22% felt that, Shane. And let's see, 7% said, "What's a Super Bowl?" and 6% said, "Yes, I'm too hungover to go to work on a Monday." Some other answers should have been from the beginning. Somebody likes it on Wednesday. A couple of people say, "Who cares?" Sunday Super Bowl, drink responsibly and avoid fights. Who cares? It's a waste of time. Yes, or schedule school off the next day, or things like that. So those are some of the other answers that we got. Our poll question today, Shay, we got the virus out there, the coronavirus, I guess, whatever it is. And it's China's kind of putting a damper on their year of the rat.
The whole market around the world's down. I mean, the Shanghai market's down 3%, and almost 3% in Japan, and it's Europe's down. Everybody's going, it's a flu.
No, it's pretty nasty. The market's down about 384. It was up above almost to 500 points down, which isn't that bad. It's only 1.3%, so it's
hardly. It hadn't opened. That's just overnight trading.
Yeah, it's hardly worth talking about, and it may pop back as the day goes on. So, but at any rate, I don't know. But anyway, our poll question of the day is the coronavirus. Are you concerned about the coronavirus? And so far, we've had very little early voting on it. 75% of you said no. We've heard this hype before. 25% say, they need to know more about it. Nobody says it's an extinction level event. So,
well, the thing was, yesterday was a Lunar New Year, which is their, first, New Year's Day, Christmas Day, whatever.
Yeah.
They normally expect 1 billion visits by the Chinese of a population of 1.4 billion. Of the 400 million people in the middle class, over 200 million people travel by plane, bus, car to get to their families with all their gifts from the cities. And if you remember, we talked about this wasn't it 8 years ago? There was a horrific snowstorm and they all got stuck in all the stations, and it was a nightmare for the People's Army to clean it up. So, they did not have a good New Year yesterday.
Yeah. So no, they
President for
didn't.
Life,
Yeah.
President for Life Chi made a speech to the people saying, "This is not a good thing."
No.
That's all he said. This is not a good thing.
Well, the other thing that we've got to look at, Shane, is their economy is already in the tank, and I think they were counting on this celebration to maybe bring a couple bucks into the economy. Buy celebratory costumes and fireworks and all that stuff, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I mean, they're not even going to have house parties with booze or Chinese egg rolls or whatever they have, Chinese egg roll pizza.
They missed the first day of the year of the rat. Ooh.
I know, yeah. Yeah. Who thinks these animals up?
I don't know.
I mean, why would somebody think that the year of the rat would be, man, that's a reason to celebrate. Why would anybody think that?
What year did yours fall in?
I don't have an animal for my year.
No, my year was the rabbit.
Oh, I have no clue. I don't know.
Just go online, check it out. You'll find out.
Yeah, mine was probably the jackass. I don't know.
Nah, the rooster, because you crow a lot with that beautiful voice.
Well, that's true. I do crow a lot. All right. We got to take a short break here. We've got the Montana news and agriculture and some other things for you to listen to. So, hey, don't go anywhere because, hey, we still got 2.5 hours or more to go. So stay right where you are. We'll be right back. 22 minutes after the hour. It's a Monday, January 17th, 2020, 34 degrees outside. It's a beautiful day. Shane, a little snow on the way, but nothing to get concerned about. I don't have to unpack my snow blower yet.
And its extension cord.
That's right. Something else we ought to start reporting, Shane, every morning, as long as we're going through some of the road conditions and all the things there. We should deal with the national debt, and the debt per citizen is $70,262. $70,262. The assets per citizen is $441,533. So,
that's keep a running tab for every month.
Yeah, we'll just keep a running tab on those for you. We'll try and remember to stick those in there so that you're aware of it. But yeah, the debt per citizen is $70,262. The assets per citizen is $441,533. That's the numbers they never report to you. They always give you the debt numbers per how much you owe, but they never compare it to how much you have. So,
yeah. Well, my favorite numbers, I get a report every day. U.S. workforce, 158 million, 126 million the private sector jobs, 8.8 million self-employed. So if anyone wants to tell you that the U.S. is employed by a lot of workers that aren't important, just look at those two numbers because they make it all happen.
All right. Sounds good to me. I'm happy.
You're always happy.
I know.
Except for Mondays. No, hey. It's Tuesdays you don't like, right? Tuesdays.
Yeah, well, I'm happy wherever I am, So.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a choice. You can be happy, you can be unhappy, So, happier feels better.
Well, happy's always a good thing, depending on how you feel. I mean, if you're not, sometimes it's hard to be happy if you're not well.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. So, but. Well, let's see. On this date in 1756, composer Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was born in Salzburg, Austria.
That's right. One of the most prolific writers of all time. Died of an early death at 35, probably of diabetes. They don't know for sure. Composed over 600 works, symphonics, chamber music, operatic, and choral. And started composing at 5 years old. Wow. The same age as the great, other people like Joseph Haydn and Ludwig van Beethoven. Joseph Haydn actually said, posterity will not see such a talent again in 100 years. Well, he was close. 150 years came the Beatles.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. Well, apparently our callers want to talk about Mozart, so.
Oh, good.
Let's go to the phones. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, this is Brad.
Hey, Brad.
Well, I've not been listening for the last little bit since the ag report, because the ag report has been the same thing about cow numbers for a week plus. Did you guys get into a rut here or what?
Well, I don't know. They send it to us. I do other things when that's on, so I haven't really paid that much attention. So I don't know. I'll report that to our guys. And
I thought it used to be that it was different every day.
Yeah.
Boy, I mean,
well, it's supposed to be different every day. I don't know why it's been the same.
Well, here you go. Live cattle, 125. Lean hog, 66.49. Beef, 13.23. Poultry, 4.79. Feeder cattle, 139.48. How's that for you?
Yeah. I don't know, Brad. Brad, are you a farmer? Or?
Well, no, I'm not.
Okay.
I do have some interest in farming, though. But
yeah.
I mean, hearing the same report about how they're expecting the cow herd to stay the same or drop a little bit, and day after day, it's like, boy.
Yeah. Well, we just want to make sure you get that message, Brad.
Well, I appreciate it. I think I got it.
Okay.
How about some broccoli numbers?
All right. Well, if you've got it, then we'll change it tomorrow. I'll talk to the powers that be, and by golly, we'll see if we can't get a new fresh ag report tomorrow morning.
I appreciate it.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for the call. Thanks for letting us know. Yeah. I don't know. It's embarrassing that you don't listen to your own station. Yeah, I put that thing on and I start doing other stuff that I got to do here. I kind of tune it out, So, but yeah, I'll check into that and I got to see what's going on there, man. We don't like that. We had the same thing with the news for a while. The Montana State News for a while was like a week in a row of same news or whatever. So, but yeah, we have to watch that stuff. So. Anyway, I feel Brad's pain. But at least we know the cattle. We know about the cattle, don't we?
Yeah, there you go. See, you feel his pain, so now you're not happy anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, thankfully we have the listeners to keep us on track, because the other stations don't have that.
Well, it's Magnificent Monday. Yeah. We get those phone calls on Monday, so
the other stations go, hey, didn't you play the same 10 songs yesterday?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm giddy because I get to watch the President's Defense today, and 2 hours on Saturday was fabulous. I mean, I even made popcorn. I was having so much fun.
All right, man. All right, we'll be back with more of This Day in History and other stuff right after the news at the bottom of the hour. So, hey, we're brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill. Check them out. The Club Tavern and Grill is located at Best Western Grand Tree on North 7th, across the street from Walmart. So, hey, tell them Tom and Shane sent you, and we'll be right back right after the news. 24 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Monday, January 27, 2020, 34 degrees outside. Shane and Tom and Half Man, Half Amazing on the line. Tommy Goloff, your morning mayor, in the house, and this is the award-winning KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, and brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill in the Best Western Grand Tree on North 7th. And thanks for joining us this morning. Here's a real topical question from our texter, Shane. What is the debt per illegal alien living in our country?
They have no idea.
I don't either.
I couldn't find that anywhere if I tried. How would you know?
Yeah. They don't exactly what the. Hi, I'm illegal and I'm in debt. Can you help me out?
Well, first of all, amazing. None of the illegal aliens are homeless, so obviously they can find a place to live.
Well, apparently, yeah.
And second of all, they send 25 to 30% of their net income home. to support their families, mostly in Mexico, which is like 30% of the GDP of Mexico. So, there you go. And that's why this, new census is going to be so interesting.
Yeah. Well, I remember, as you know, I lived in California for 13 years, and I'm living in my car trying to find a job, and unfortunately, I didn't have the contacts to have a house where 25 people live, and share the rent.
That's right.
So that was my problem. See, I didn't have that support structure when I crossed the border.
That's right, and a continuous soup pot on the stove.
On the stove,
everything went in it, no matter what.
Pretty much, yeah. Anything you could steal or bring home went in the stew pot, and that was it. Yeah, that was it. So, yeah. So, but that's one of the things about illegal aliens, that they do have a support system that they'll take you in, or you got an uncle or a cousin or a brother or somebody. Even
you think with the surveys they claim to have out there about the billions and billions of dollars that illegal aliens add to your economy, that someone might know the answer to your question, but I don't think those numbers are out there.
Well, I don't think they are either, because how would you've got credit card debt that's reported, you've got all of these things that are on the books. You got mortgages reported. You've got, how much the average person needs to spend on housing and living and whatever, based on, and they know that the median income of the nation.
Right.
So it's not too hard to figure the debt per person when you look at the size of our debt. But
Right.
I would bet, let's say, I'd bet probably 5% of that is some kind of alien influence. Well, when I talk about alien influence, for example, school bonds.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about those ships in the air that are buzzing around.
No.
Okay.
No, not those aliens.
I take it nothing else in history interested you, so we're moving on.
Well, no, I just got
okay.
this. I just got this debt here. I mean, I got that question, and I thought it was kind of interesting, to go there. So, we'll go back to history, though.
Okay. It's much more interesting.
Well, because on this date in 1832, Charles Ludwig Dodgson, who wrote Alice in Wonderland under the pen name of Lewis Carroll, was born in Cheshire, England. We must have reported his death a week or two ago, because I remember the name. We talked about it and whatever. It must have been his death. So
It was.
yeah, so he was born. Yeah, he was born on this date in 1832. Wrote Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, a timeless classic, I should say.
And a sequel to Through the Looking Glass.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was quite fab. Yeah, he's famous around the world. Didn't write a lot after that, but that was enough to keep him in the goods.
I was going to say, if you write one, you wrote them all, huh? We've got to take another really short break. It's only a 1-minute break. We come back, we got to talk about Thomas Edison, Jerome Kern, the Soviet Union, astronauts, Vietnam peace, and Hillary Rodham Clinton right after this. You don't want to go away. 18 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Monday, January 27, 2020, 34 degrees outside. And, well, let's see, Shane, after 1,000 flubs in 1880, Thomas Edison received a patent for the electric incandescent light.
Very brilliant guy. Started out as a young man, being a telegraph operator, which led him to electrical power generation, mass communication, sound recording, the phonograph, and the motion picture camera and film, and of course, as you said, the light bulb. He has the most patents of any American, 1,093, I believe. Yes.
Wow.
And built Menlo Park, which was the first industrial laboratory of its kind, which many people visited, from presidents to politicians to entertainers, just to meet with the great Thomas Edison, and lived to 84. So he had a great life. Really had a lot of problems with funding and financing, because he didn't want to sell any of his patents, number one. and number two, he didn't manage very well. But he did decide to start Westinghouse with a number of investors, which was a great success in the early century. But he changed everything with the light bulb because now factories could be open 24 hours a day, which, when you think about it, is a big change. Now,
Yeah.
24 hours, 24 by 7.
Yeah.
We can all blame on Thomas Edison.
And they gave a lot more light than oil lamps and that were
Saved-
in
and
use at the
saved the
time, or
whales.
gas, either one, So
Gas, or those were gas was not good because of the threat of fire.
yeah.
Mostly everything was built with wood, of course, but the big one was between oil and Edison, the whales were saved.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, that when they went from oil lamps to gas, a lot of people died because they just, out of habit, they blew out the flame
Yeah,
and didn't turn off the gas. So they're
true.
sitting there
that was
dying of gas inhalation. So.
Yeah.
Well, in 1885, on this date, Broadway composer Jerome Kern was born in New York City. What a body of work that guy has! Wow.
Yeah, a lot that people recognize. Yeah, pretty fabulous guy. Yeah.
Yeah. In 1944, the Soviet Union announced the end of the deadly German siege of Leningrad, which had lasted for more than 2 years.
And that was a turning point in Western Europe, particularly with the Russians attacking the Germans. It had become a real mess as far as squalor and people trying to survive because the city had been surrounded. But he broke the siege on it and saved the city and moved on to Berlin.
Yep, kept right on going, baby.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sorry, I'm deleting stuff here as I go. 1951, the area of atomic testing in the Nevada desert began. People used to go out and watch these things, not realizing the threat of radioactivity and things like that. They wanted to see the big plume from a safe distance.
Yeah, and the great John Wayne claimed that the terrible movie he did of Genghis Khan was filmed in that area, and he thought that because they were watching these bombs going off,
right,
that's where he got his cancer.
Yeah,
but, the site was called Trinity Site, and they were popping off nuclear weapons, 20 kiloton nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
And the first thermonuclear weapon was actually set off at the same area. And then they moved the testing to the Eniwetok Atoll in the Marshall Islands on November 1st, 1952. So they thought distance was a bit better. But it's interesting because it took the Americans and the Russians to really develop a comprehensive test ban treaty in 1996.
Yeah.
But the reason for all this testing, real quick, is they've never perfected the trigger on a nuclear weapon, because whether it's the nuclear weapon that implodes or explodes, there's two types. Splits the atom or explodes an atom.
Mm-hmm.
It's the trigger that this doesn't. That's why 90% of nuclear weapons produced and sitting out there probably will not go off. They'll just be dirty bombs.
Let's see, 1967, astronauts Virgil Gus Grissom, Edward White, and Roger Chaffee died in a flash fire during a test aboard their Apollo 1 spacecraft at Cape Kennedy, California.
It was the result of a short. And up until that time, because Apollo, of course, was a crew of 3, Gemini 2, and then the original was the individual. But they were testing the capsule on the ground, and a short occurred, and the inside of the cabin exploded because they were using, are you ready for this, pure oxygen.
Wow.
And so after that, they went to they went to a combination of normal air.
Mm-hmm.
And they did that because it was easier to filter, and they didn't think they'd have to carry as much into space. But they developed filter systems better, carbon filter systems better, so they could reuse the air in the cabin.
Yeah. 19.
sad.
Yeah.
They're the only ones lost in the entire NASA
Yeah, I
program.
know. That's pretty remarkable. You would think, that would have been more dangerous, particularly when you look at today. We had pretty primitive stuff then. I mean, holy mackerel.
These guys were put originally on top of, Minuteman missiles that were used for nuclear weapons, and that's what they were fighting. Yeah, the Redstone rocket was what it. Yeah,
right.
Sort of,
yeah. Yeah, who wants to sit on top of 50 million parts made by the lowest bidder, huh?
That's right. It's a great line from that movie. Yeah.
Well, in 1967, more than 60 nations signed a treaty banning the orbiting of nuclear weapons. Yeah, you can't have nukes in the atmosphere roaming around, I guess. So.
That's right, and it had to be amended so that they could send up nuclear satellites that they sent, because I want to let everybody know Opportunity is back online. Those of you that love space. Mm-hmm. NASA lost contact with Opportunity last week, which we talked about in July.
Mm-hmm.
But they reported on yesterday, that they've reestablished contact with Opportunity on Mars.
All right.
The Mars Exploration Rover B, or MER-1.
All right. We got to take another quick break. We'll be back in 2 minutes, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. 8 minutes before the hour of 8 o'clock, or 7 o'clock rather. It's Monday. Can you tell? Can you tell it's Monday? January 27, 2020, 34 degrees outside. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. We're brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill. They're located in the Best Western Grand Tree on North 7th, across from Walmart. And it's where the locals go. Stop in there, tell them Tom and Shane sent you down. In 1973, Shane, the Vietnam Peace Accords were signed in Paris a year after they finally decided the setup of the tables.
Yeah,
it took them a year to decide the seating. Give me a break.
Of course, they couldn't figure out the shape of the table, whether it would be round or square or rectangular. But that all of that was the North Koreans delaying, because they were winning, but they felt they were winning the war.
North Vietnamese, you mean? Yeah.
I mean, the Vietnamese, they thought they were winning the war.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the efforts that Nixon put into it at the time and to get it done was pretty remarkable. There were 2 Nobel Peace Prizes awarded for it. And regrettably, in the end, it came totally unexpected in a different way. Nothing ever seems to go the way you want it to.
Yeah. And then, of course, we left with the agreement that we would provide arms and aid to South Vietnamese to continue their effort. And we reneged on that. We pulled the plug. Congress did. Congress pulled the plug on all of the aid to South Vietnam, and it fell.
And I think the contrast has to be made between what was happening with Nixon as a president and his international relations with other countries and how it affected it. And this is a perfect example. So when you're looking at what's happening today and what's going on right now in the U.S. Senate, when you have these House managers accusing a leader of another country of lying, these have ultimate, consequences. And so, there's no question that Nixon's impeachment resulted in a whole change or view of the Vietnam War, because it was winnable. But, they couldn't come up with a specific strategy, even though that they'd committed to the war. But the problem was, at the end of the day, what was happening to Nixon with the impeachment resulted in the collapse of the defense of the South and the end of the war, I think.
Yeah. No, I think you're right on. 1998, First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton, appearing on NBC's Today Show, said that allegations against her husband were the work of a vast right-wing conspiracy.
Sure it was. Yeah, it's always been the right wing that's been conspiring against them.
I don't know, was the right wing in the Oval Office passing out cigars or what?
Yeah, well, the other book that came out this weekend, Profiles of Corruption, it is a staggering book of the corruption in the Democratic Party. And we got to get Clint to buy the book so he can read it and then report. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you're out there listening, Clint, I want you to go get Profiles of Corruption. It's I've read some of the partial stuff and saw him interviewed on TV last night.
Mm-hmm.
It's staggering. I'm talking about Bernie and how wealthy he is,
Oh, yeah.
and Warren and how wealthy she is, and I mean, if we get a chance to talk about it later,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost overwhelming. You just wouldn't believe how corrupt they are, and how they've made their millions. But maybe we can get to it.
Yeah.
Because they're just Trump made all his money. Like we always said, he wasn't corruptible because he came in already rich.
Yeah.
But these people got in poor, and then being in politics. The reason they don't want any of this coming out, like the Bidens and everything, is, I mean, like Biden's brothers, like he's got like 5 family members besides him and his son that have made millions. And it's unbelievable.
I know,
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's well, we always wonder how do you go into a job that pays about 150 grand and come out a millionaire after 4 years or 8 years or 30 years or however long you're in there. So,
well, one of the reasons that Biden put his son on Amtrak's directors, he was on the board of directors, because he had this big thing about he took the train home. He was the working guy.
Yeah, right.
And so he'd call up his son, who's on the board of Amtrak, if he's running late in the Senate, to hold the train so he could get his ride home. Like, really? So everybody else has to wait for him to get on the train so he can get on. Wow.
That's like Clinton getting an airport with, or Clinton getting a haircut at the airport.
Yeah, in
held
LA,
everybody up for 45 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, they close the airspace around every airport the president lands at, right? An hour before.
What jerks these people are. Oh, man.
What a life. What a life.
I'll tell you. I don't know, man. They won't hold anything. They won't even hold the door for me at the airport.
Well, yeah, it's like Bloomberg has 11 homes, 6 jets, and 42 cars.
Wow.
And he's running around telling everyone, you shouldn't create a footprint.
Yeah.
This is great. I love it. This is great.
Well, in 2010, Apple CEO Steve Jobs unveiled the iPad tablet computer during a presentation in San Francisco. Got the iPad going.
That's right. And, 2009, he started the iPhone. So, I mean, this stuff was all brand new, and brilliant guy. I mean, when you think of what he did and how he changed communications, in the world, and created, he basically, and let's not forget, Apple almost went bankrupt and he left. And then he came back and I mean, this guy's a double winner. Like,
oh, yeah.
He went on, he built Next, and then he sold that to Disney company.
Pixel, made Pixel. Yeah.
Pixel, sold it to Disney. This was, he what?
He was a smart guy.
He was. And Apple is the Westinghouse of the century. And, the result of all this communications from, as we talked, from 1982 to 2004, 45 million new jobs.
Yeah.
Huge.
All right, we've got to go. 2010, J.D. Salinger, the reclusive author of The Catcher of the Rye, died in Cornish, New Hampshire at age 91. If you haven't read The Catcher of the Rye, you need to pick up a copy and read it. It's a hilarious book.
It is a hilarious book.
Just Holden Caulfield, coming of age.
That's right. Exactly.
All right. Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for this first hour. We come back, we'll do some local news, your texts and phone calls and all of that stuff. We got to cover the big news, of course, over the weekend. Kobe Bryant will be back and talk about that when we come right back. Stay tuned. Thank you, Dan. Welcome back, everyone. 6 minutes after the hour, it is the award-winning KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, and Shane and Tobin, half man, half amazing. In Vancouver, British Columbia, Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in beautiful downtown Bozeman, Montana, and we welcome you, and thanks for starting your day with us. Very happy that you chose us for your morning entertainment, however entertaining we may be. Who knows, huh, Shane?
But we do our best to try to create a lot of fun, and flavor. So
That's true.
make a call. It's Magnificent Monday.
That's right. If you want to be a part of the big show, 522 Talk is the number. 406-522-8255, 406-522-8255, or give us if you want to get on the text line, 406-478-8298, and you can also reach us on our app chat line on your smartphone at AM 1450 KMMS. Use our app there. You can listen. You can call us. Yeah, that's great. You're sitting there listening to us on your phone, and 2 buttons away is the phone call. And all you do is push the button that says, do you really want to call 522 Talk? And you say yes, and boom, you're here. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, and we're running ahead with downloads. I mean, how cool is that? We
are, yeah. It's really doing well. So make sure you get the AM 1450 KMMS app. You'll find it anywhere, Google Play or the Apple Store, or just do a search on your phone for AM 1450 KMMS and download the app, and you'll get Montana news. You get weather anytime you want it. You get all kinds of information. Plus, you can listen to us anywhere in the world, and it's great. So get it today. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
Well, boom. I spend an awful lot of time defending my reputation, so I'll join your happy throngs and talk about this hearing. First, I'll recant, which means give up an earlier position and say, when you asked me about the hearings, I said, it's a waste of my time. I have started to learn some things, but it's not really the surface stuff. It just seems to me it's just he said, she said, whether the consciousness of a New York land owner shouldn't be that and should be meek as a lamb, but that's the impeachment is serious stuff. He'd have to be a mobster before be that important. So, but I learned this. Now, the 10 Commandments of a good modern government is this is a government of laws, not of men. But then I was thinking that's not even an absolute, because if you look at Corinthians in the Bible, it said he operated under the letter of the law, not the spirit of the law. So sometimes we have to use our conscience, our conscience's objector ability, and say, I can't go along with this, so even though it's set in stone. So that's the story of my life. I'm not going to just run with the herd and say everything else everybody else says. So I'm sorry if I've sounded too much like an egotistical person trying to defend their reputation, but I am learning things.
Yeah.
Oh, and one other thing, they keep repeating, don't mind read. You have to have the proof. People are saying Pelosi, she hates Trump, even though she says she doesn't. That's her mind. We can't run around saying that we know this or that. It's just unfair to.
Well, I think the things you said about your presidents and the way she's treated them, you can draw your own conclusion, Daniel.
Yeah, I would say that. I would also say that the three branches of government and the checks and balances that we have take the emotion out of government. They take out the we should do the right thing. They take out the it's not easy for Congress to appropriate money to send people to foreign lands to be killed. So if we all said, well, no, we don't want anybody going to a foreign land and being killed, but sometimes there's a necessity for it, and the conscience of the people either vote to retain those same people who do that, or they vote to remove those people and put in people who think, as you do, or as anyone listening to us does.
Yeah, well, that's my idea of direct democracy. Let the people decide, and not the intermediates.
Well, we can't we can't have a vote every day on everything that's done in Congress. What we do, we have a republic government. We elect people to speak for us, and if you're unhappy with the way those people are speaking, then you vote them out.
Yeah, that's pretty bulky. If you wouldn't have had to go through all this step-by-step stuff, you could the whole question of impeachment could be over with. You just have voted last month whether to impeach or not, but they go to one step and you ask the elite. You go to another step and you ask the elite. It's taken way too long. It's a waste of time. But I'm nevertheless learned more significant things than just the surface stuff.
Well, sure. And there's a lot of significant stuff, and right now that significant stuff is being put on the back burner for this ridiculous impeachment. Whether Trump is guilty or not, who cares? We've got other fish to fry. We've got infrastructure. We've got, all sorts of things that we need to deal with here in our own country to make the place better for our people. But they've bogged themselves down in this, spectacle, because of their, quite frankly, it's strictly their dislike for the way the election turned out, and exactly what you're talking about. The people voted Trump in. So, it's up to the Congress to respect the vote of the people, but they're not.
Yeah, so I'm one of the people, and this is the vast majority that says, well, he's done something wrong, but it's just something wrong. It's not mobster serious.
Yeah, but that's not their intention. The one thing you hear about impeachment that's clear is it's political. So she holds up delivering it because they're not prepared. So they get 30 days to prepare the case to go to the Senate. And then they put on a 3-day campaign show for 48 hours, because that's what it was. This is all about campaigning for the 2020 election, influencing it and accusing him. Everything the Democrats do is a projection of what they're doing, Daniel. If you just step back, look at it, without having a dog in the fight, I can look at it and say, they're doing more to interfere with the 2020 election with this than when they interfered with the 2016 election, because they're the ones that interfered with it to try and get Hillary elected.
Well, yeah, that's we'll just have to. We can't use the old ways to figure out how to go the new ways. That was then, and now is now. And I have no problem trying to make friends with Russia. And then one of my next steps is, why are we spending $1 billion for an aircraft carrier? It's unlikely we're going to have major wars. How about gunboats to watch out for specks of terrorists, little bands of terrorists that want to tear up parts of this country?
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that tomorrow, because the U.S. Coast Guard is on tap tomorrow, and they're the ones that protect the shoreline.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. I got to go. I got a commercial to do here. So, hey, thanks for the call.
It's Thanksgiving.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, let's take a quick break here. But first, before I do that, Shane, I've got to tell you about the Club Tavern and Grill, because they were voted Bozeman's Choice Best Happy Hour, the Club Tavern and Grill. They offer happy hour specials every day of the week, and as one of Bozeman's most popular happy hour spots and sports bars, You'll be sure to find something you'll love from their extensive drink and food menu. They also serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a kid-friendly menu is also available. So to place an order for pickup or make a reservation for parties of 6 or more, go online to theclubtavernandgrill.com, theclubtavernandgrill.com. Check them out. They're located in the Best Western Grand Tree on North 7th, across from Walmart. It's where the locals go. And be sure and tell them that Tom and Shane sent you. You'll get ice in drinks that normally have ice in them. Trust me. We'll be right back right after this. 18 minutes after the hour, it's Monday, January 27, 2020, 33 degrees outside. Shane Matobin, half man, half amazing, is on the line in Vancouver, British Columbia, where the snow melted and it's sunny and warm and nice, and everything is lollipops and rainbows in Vancouver. Check out our messages here from our text line. There's strong evidence of Russian collusion. Problem is, it occurred under the Obama administration. It was known as the Uranium One scandal. This was real collusion by Hillary Clinton and Obama. Obama told Dmitry Medvedev to tell Putin, I'll have more flexibility after the election on live TV. This flexibility was directly regarding our missile defense system. How much media attention do the potentially treasonous acts of Democrats receive from the media? Let's get Trump. That's all that matters. Trump's golf cart rental expenses set to surpass $500,000. First president to make millions being president. Well, he's lost billions, actually, but let's keep on going. President Trump's inaugural committee spent more than $1.5 million at the Trump International Hotel, $130,000 for customized seat cushions at two gala dinners for the president-elect, $10,000 to provide makeup to the servers at another formal dinner, and $2.7 million to a company that produced a Broadway-style rendition of Frank Sinatra's New York, New York. No corruption there. Well, one thing I did notice about Trump's inauguration, there were no pillars.
Okay, this gives me an opening. So Bernie Sanders, you know, the socialist communist, his wife he hires to set up all his ads that he did, his campaign ads. Now, here's how it works. You set up a company, which they did, and that company goes out and hires people to do campaign ads. You pay them, and they give you a 15% fee, commission. So it turns out that in the 2016 election, he spent over $100 million on campaign ads, which means someone in his family made $15 million in commissions, which is a total government loophole that he could use to get rich. This is great stuff, Tom. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Why not? All right.
Yeah.
Let's take a phone call. 406-522-TALK is the number. 406-522-8255. Caller, you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What is on your mind?
You guys. I don't know if we got the.
What do we do now?
Yeah. What do we do next?
Is the time correct? I want to make sure I'm not an hour behind or an hour above.
Okay.
But anyways, at least Trump, at least he's not acting as half a president. He really isn't. And this could be people's opinion to disagree with, but, because like Hillary, she would have given you half of nothing. Guarantee you that. And Obama, what did he give us over his 8 years? He gave half of what? I mean,
I gave half the corporations to other countries. He did that.
Yeah, and I lost half my hope.
And he gave you half the national debt.
Yeah, I'm struggling to try to go to work, and Tom can relate to this because my knee was busted, and until I got that finally taken care of, I wasn't able to walk down Main Street, basically. And I lost the other half of my hope I had.
Whoa.
And you know what? I just from the election itself, I started to feel a little bit better. Going back to kind of like maybe it'll be like Reagan years again. And I'm a little laid up right now, but there's still a lot of real hope and positivity, about living again. But these demon crappers, I'll tell you, they persist in wanting to keep everybody down. And I don't get that part. And as far as what Daniel was saying, you know what? I wish he had to just go back and read the Bible again, or go back and look at the part. What did Jesus Christ do when he was being marched to that sheriff to be killed, Pontius Pilate? Well, he went and he let himself be killed. At least Daniel, he's trying to fight back. But what he got to do is not worry about what people think of him. It's about he knows within inside his own heart who he is, what he is, and what his goals are.
It's the message, not the messenger.
Exactly. You know, and that's what you guys bring out. You know, I could say I'd call you the Ramjet, or I can call you the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. Wish I'd have thought of. I wish I'd have thought of Ramjets earlier. Huh?
The Ramjets are fast.
Eagle Man, you're in the air, baby.
But you guys are more precise and locally.
All right.
And that's what's kind of cool about it. You know, you got to find the ones you're familiar with, and don't worry about those that really don't mean anything. I mean, I can be as depressing on a Monday, and as I don't know, I could have sympathetic disorder or disdain for people at any time that I want, but you know that you gotta take what's in front of you.
Amen,
and
brother.
Only worry about now. And if you got to worry about what's 10 years from now, well, I can't deal with you.
All right.
Live in the moment, baby.
Gotta go. Hey, thanks for the call.
Yeah, thank you, Shane.
All right.
God bless you guys. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye. All right. Caller, you on the air? What's going on?
How many of us will be around 10 years from now?
Well, I hope I am, but I don't know.
No.
Every day's a gift for me.
Actually, I'm speaking for myself. Sorry, guys. But today I'd like to get on the soapbox. This is really Clint stating that those two pedophiles were, one was a pedophile, the other one just did it, whatever. They were Jewish. Well, thank you for pointing that out. I don't remember you being so religious conscious when Sandusky from the Ohio State, the coach, another coach, the physician from the
Penn
Olympics.
State. Yeah, Penn State. Yeah.
And goes on and on and on. The football teams and all that raping. The issue, a religious issue never came up at that time. I mean, who cares who Sandusky was? But these two men were Jewish. One was, one isn't. Of course. And if you guys don't think this is not going on right now at the present moment in Hollywood.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons that it came up that they were Jewish was because there's a high level of Jewish presence in the Hollywood community. And a lot of the folks who gravitated to these two people, were high level, people who run in those circles. Now, I don't want to paint everybody with a religious brush here, but I think that's
but was
part
that
of
necessary?
it. Well, it's probably not necessary unless.
Well, wait. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, Tom. You correct me. Mm-hmm. But Flint, what he did is he mentioned two gentlemen, but he didn't specify they were Jewish. Mm-hmm. He mentioned Weinstein.
They were Jewish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did.
Specified they were Jewish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he did say that. So, but I don't think whether I don't.
You don't worry. It's a person's right to demonize those and those. Say those two are horrible.
Sure.
But it's going on in the Christian, and Hollywood is not dominated by Jews anymore. I'm sorry. I'm thinking, in Epstein's case, you don't think the others were sort of silent partners?
Well, the sad reality is that this behavior is accepted in the Muslim religion. Let's not kid ourselves. Yeah. It's accepted. That's all right.
But that's all right.
It's embraced.
We have a new charity in town. It's to help the Rohingya people in Burma. Mm-hmm. Burma is going to let the do-gooders in there to help. They're murdering the Rohingyas. But the Rohingyas are not Burmese. They're spillover for Bangladesh. So, it's like we are fighting to keep people off our borders. And those people who try to get in there, who are getting into the Burma, they're squatters. It's like if we had the same problem here. There's squatters in our
well made.
country.
It's happening all over the world. So it's important to shine a light on it
But
in
anyway,
the proper way.
Mm-hmm.
So the Rohingya people here will do very well. Because those monies are not going to the Rohingyas. Those monies from the monks, they're going back to China. But anyway, so how many charities are there? I mean, serious and honest charities for the Christian people in the Muslim countries. I don't know of anyone in town, of any. I mean, I'm talking viable charities. So if somebody knows of any, I'd love to help. But they have to be upfront and honest, like it's supposed to be.
All right.
But I don't know any.
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah,
go.
but there's good news also.
Yeah?
Apparently, Saudi Arabia is permitting the Israelis to come for the Hajj into businesses now in Saudi Arabia. What's going on that end of the world?
All right. Hey, thanks a lot.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Jay, we got another caller on the line. If you want to chat with them, we've got news at the bottom of the hour, Montana State News, Fox News, Britt Foster weather, and some other things. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. 25 minutes for the top of the hour. We've got a caller patiently waiting on the line. Let's go to the phones. 406-522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the air. What's up?
Hey, I just wanted to address the whole pedophile thing that you were talking about. Mm-hmm. It's true that KMMS hired a accused pedophile Dominic Brasha for a few years. So you guys call him the kettle black. You guys should look at your station manager who you hired a few years ago. Dominic Brasha was an accused pedophile. He raped somebody, and he was on your radio. I mean, good God, you guys!
Well,
you guys are.
We haven't called anybody anything. The callers are calling him a pedophile. We haven't called. We haven't called him anything.
You guys had a pedophile working for you.
Amen.
Your station manager hired a known pedophile. I mean, come on, fellas. You guys are something else.
All right, man.
And John Bolton's lying his ass off, too.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
Have a great day, guys.
All right. Appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Well, gee, after a year, I thought we'd be done with that, but apparently not. So it'll go on forever, I guess. So let's see. One of our texters sent us something pretty interesting here from Forbes magazine. Trump has now shifted $1.7 million from campaign donors to his private business. The Trump campaign is spending big money at the president's properties, according to a review. Forbes is claiming that Trump hasn't contributed anything to his campaign this time around, or any of his own money to the campaign, but yet he is capitalizing quite a bit on his private places that he owns and, all of that stuff. So.
Sure. Well, he's given his money, his salary to charity, and he can't do anything with the Trump corporation.
Mm-hmm. Well, he doesn't give it. He doesn't give it to charity. He gives it to government departments. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, some of those may be a charity.
Yeah. I stand corrected.
Depends on. It depends on your definition, right?
Right. That's right.
Oh, let's see. What else we got here? The biggest beneficiary has been Trump Tower Commercial LLC, which controls the president's famous Manhattan skyscraper. Trump still owns the entity, which has accepted $1.2 million in rent from the re-election effort and another $225,000 from the Republican National Committee. And since Trump became president, an estimated 1.6 of the tower's revenue has come from either the RNC or re-election campaign. The majority of Trump Tower's income comes from Gucci, which leases 49,000 square feet of prime real estate on Fifth Avenue for roughly, are you ready? Are you sitting down? $21 million a year, Shane, in rent. Wow.
Wow.
That's big bucks. Let's see. In the basement of Trump Tower, much smaller space now serves as an official campaign store selling hats, T-shirts, and other memorabilia. The rent payment for that space could be flowing through an entity called Trump Restaurants LLC, which has taken $87,000 of rent since Trump became president. So there you are. So
There you go.
Forbes has got the inside scoop there. So what can I tell you, huh? All right. Oh, let's see. And of course, he never releases his tax return as he promised. Well, his thing isn't over yet, and I might add that none of the presidents released their tax returns while in office up until Nixon released his. Everybody else released them when they were out of office. Kennedy never released his either, the other billionaire that was certainly president. So,
Right.
you know. Let's see. It's convenient that all presidents are audited. His go-to excuse the other presidents have never used. Well, they are audited every year. The president and vice president, by law, are audited every year they're in office. And KMMS website has malware in the ads. Make sure your virus scanner is up to date. And well, we haven't seen any evidence of that. Perhaps your scanner is whatever, but I go to KMMS all the time, and I think I've got some pretty sophisticated stuff on here because of the station. And I would tell you I haven't gotten anything from KMMS. So,
Okay.
you know, so if it is, if your thing is catching it, good for it.
Good for it. I like that.
Texture said Trump was the first to make millions by being president. What? That cretin better get their facts straight. President Trump has lost millions by having to give up opportunities and business deals due to his presidential responsibilities. He was one of a select few who refused to take a salary for being president. Yeah, right. President Trump is in it for the money. Get your facts straight. Let's not forget Trump was fined $2 million for ripping off veterans. Well, he wasn't. Jesus. We've debunked that I don't know how many times, but I don't know. It keeps rearing its ugly head. So let's move on from there. Let's see. We've got to take about this is great. 104 seconds break. We got a 30, a 1 minute, and a 15. No, we don't. It's longer than 15. No, it's 2.5 minutes. We'll be right back. 16 minutes for the top of the hour, Monday, January 27, 2020, 33 degrees outside. And welcome to the award-winning KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And we're brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill. And they're in the Grand Tree Best Western Hotel on North 7th, across from Walmart, where the locals go. Shop there and tell them Shane and Tom sent you in. So, all right. Shane, are you frozen?
No, I'm looking up something.
Okay. Well, I'll do a couple of things here while Shane's looking things up, saying, you don't debunk, you lied. Trump was fined. Okay, he was fined, man. Trump pays court-ordered $2 million for illegally it jumped down on me. Where'd it go? Let's see. Yeah, it jumped away from me. I can't find where it is. There's too many. You put too many in here. So, there it is. Okay. Let's see. Trump ordered to pay 8 separate charities $250,000 each, remaining $1.8 million Trump Foundation bank account dispersed among other charities, and that's what we've always said. So, yeah.
Right.
Let's see. You don't have to fight in a war if your feet hurt. Well, you don't have to volunteer either. It's a volunteer army. So, who cares if Trump is cheating our next election? Well, how do you cheat the first election? How do you get somebody who's going to vote Democrat walk into a ballot box and suddenly vote Republican? I don't see how that works. I don't know. Yeah. Let's see. Trump hired the lawyer to get O.J. Simpson and Epstein off. He hires the best people, best creeps. Well, I don't know. Johnny Crockett, a creep. He got O.J. off too. So I don't know. Isn't that the job of attorneys?
That's right.
Jeez. New York Attorney General Letitia James today released the following statement after Donald J. Trump was forced to pay more than $2 million to court-ordered damages to 8 different charities. We did that already. Give it a break. So what? Jeez. Let's see. I have a resource for the lady looking for ministries that support Christians in the 1020 region. Voice of the Martyrs has been around for quite a while, and it's been quite well received by the watchdogs. There are plenty of others if she just Googles supporting Christians in the 1020 region. So, all right, good for that. Good for her. Thanks for the info. Let's see.
Okay, well, you're looking.
Yeah.
The Dow's down 418. The Standard & Poor's 500 down 44. NASDAQ down 172. The world is off anywhere from 2 to 5%, particularly in Asia. The leader, of course, is a 3% drop in Shanghai. The view from the internet about the market today is reference to the coronavirus in China that most people, and the market tells you these things, that they think that the Chinese are lying about how bad the infection is. It is airborne, so it's apparently it's traveling fast. So it could turn out to be a major problem for the Chinese because it's a virus. There's no cure for it, and you're looking at the potential of a lot of people being concerned because it could start to affect world travel in a big way. So China's sealed. No one's going to China. Everyone's trying to get out of China. And we have a big concern here because we have a large community of Chinese that travel back and forth. So I'm expecting in the next couple of weeks, we'll probably have someone
You're going to have
here
something
and
there,
yeah, infected. But we'll see where it goes. But, this one of these things, how fear and greed works, right? The fear, if I don't sell today, it'll be lower tomorrow. Or in this case, oh my gosh, if this turns into a bad epidemic, things could get rotten in Amsterdam, right?
That's for sure. Elections from our text line, 478-8298. Elections are not won by Democrats or Republicans. It's the independents that decide elections, and the Russian targeted them. Read the Mueller report. Okay, it targeted them. How? What? It said, oh, you're an independent? Well, vote Democrat. Are you dumb? What? So, I mean, come on. And not only that, they targeted them in the exact counties they needed. They targeted them in the exact states as they needed. What? And are you telling me that the higher-ups of our politics in our own country can't influence people? Can't influence independence better than the Russians?
That's
Holy smokes.
Oh, by the way, and they haven't been doing it for 70 years, as is China and everyone else. I mean, there isn't a country in the world if they thought on Facebook or Twitter or Google that they could influence the American election, they would. Absolutely. No question about it.
Yeah. All right. Shane, we got a caller waiting. We got to take a quick break, and it's pretty quick. It's only 45 seconds. So we'll be right back right after this. Stay tuned. 9 minutes for the top of the hour. Wow, time's flying today on a Monday. We're excited to be here with you, of course. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. We got a caller on the line, so let's go to the phones. Caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Well, I was wondering, they haven't said a word yet, and they won't know yet if the genotype for that coronavirus seems to be targeting Asians like the SARS did.
Yeah, like sickle cell anemia for blacks were more susceptible to that, But yeah,
SARS
could be.
Specifically, they found out in Canada that only largely Asians in Canada that got the SARS virus. So I wonder if the coronavirus is similar.
I don't know. I guess the CDC will maybe, if that's the case, I would think the CDC would put it out. Well, I think if
probably
there was a
won't.
specific group of people, they certainly put out that sickle cell anemia was more susceptible to blacks than it was to whites.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. They didn't. They didn't publicize that SARS targeted. That's because this is a man-made virus.
One thing about it might be important to be said. The only research facility in China dealing with, biological weapons is in that city. Ouch.
Yeah.
So it could have got out of
that would
it could have got out of that laboratory. Someone may have been infected.
that
and
would
came out.
indicate that it was a man-made virus. I would think.
Could be.
My just a little cheerful.
Your conspiracy flag's up, is it?
Yes.
All right, man. Hey, thanks a lot.
Just a little cheerfulness.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right.
All right. Well,
Tom, people are trying to just not make you happy today.
I know. Well, it's a known fact. The coronavirus is caused by smoking cigars. So come on.
That's right. Yeah. And sharing them.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, sharing cigars. That's it. Yeah, share those Coronas with each other. Or wasn't that a song by Boy George, My Corona?
That's right.
Or is that My Sharona? I don't know. I forget.
You're the music man, Eagle Man.
I don't know. Well, not very well. So what? Tom's new defense of Trump's crimes. Well, whenever he's charged with a crime, I guess I'll have to say.
It hasn't been.
Well, sort of. He hasn't been charged with a crime. He's been charged with something.
He's been accused of,
Yeah, but neither one of those things are criminal.
That's right. Here we go again.
So, yes, if you want to fine him for corruption or bigamy or whatever else, I don't know.
Yeah.
Trump cheats on all his wives, mistresses, and the 2020 primary election. Well, you have to explain to me how he cheated on the primary election, but Republicans, so what? But those socialists, well, I don't know. You gotta look at the seven dwarfs that are running for the demolition party election, and you tell me who do you want rather than Trump? Did you happen to watch Buttigieg last night, Shane?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, of course I did. You
Yeah.
know we do that. Yeah.
Yeah, he got beat up on the abortion by that one lady there a little bit.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And as he should, because he doesn't have an answer. It's like Warner and that father. You don't take on a father.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty much more of the same. He still has my bet for coming out of this as the nominee of the party.
Buttigieg?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a breakfast bet on that.
Okay, let's bet on it.
That's an
All right.
easy call.
No, he's on tap. He's the guy they want. Yep.
What? You say that?
Yeah. Yep. He is. I'll tell you why. He's John Kennedy reincarnated. He's somebody like Obama who can sell the DNC point of view. He's every mother's son. Everybody wants their son to be like him, except for maybe the gay part. But anyway,
except maybe for
let's go to the phones. 522 talk is the number. I'm gonna get cards and letters on that statement. All right. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
Hi, it's Gay.
Hi, Gay.
Hi. So we're talking about Trump being a cheater. So was Kennedy. So was Clinton. So was Martin Luther King. Let's face
Johnson.
it. There's a whole lot of cheaters back
Thomas Jefferson, for God's sake.
there. Yes, Thomas Jefferson. Yes. He didn't even, once he went to France and got him a mistress, he never went back home again. His wife and daughter never saw him again. So there, yeah. So, if you want to talk about cheaters, there's a lot of cheaters back there. And some of them I don't even want to think about.
Yeah.
Because, ew. So, anyway,
that's a good one. Ooh. Too much information.
Y'all have a good day.
All right. Hey,
Bye-bye.
thanks for the call. Yeah, when I think of Monica and Bill in the Oval Office, ooh, that's all I can think of. Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. That's whew. So you don't like Trump, who will make tomorrow better? Well, presidents don't make tomorrow better. The American people make tomorrow better.
More better.
You know,
That's right.
Presidents might have a small influence on making people feel more positive, but presidents don't create economies. Have you ever watched The Last Ship? When The Last Ship came out, I tried to watch a couple of episodes of that.
It got too dopey.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It's pretty
personal relationships and stuff like that.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, that's not my cup of tea. So no, I didn't. But I don't.
It's a chick show.
Yeah. So
It's like Grey's Anatomy, sex and surgery.
yeah, sort of. Let's see what else we got here that we haven't covered. I think we got everything in here. Let's see. Socialism is loved by oligarchs because it enslaves people by making them totally dependent on a few individuals in government. Socialism is as much an honest form of government as the Trump impeachment process is really about telling the truth and upholding the Constitution. Democrats, give us a break. You're all a bunch of sore losers, just like Hillary.
Well, the thing about communism and socialism is it looks good on a book,
Mm-hmm.
but it fails to recognize two things about human character: greed and corruption.
Yeah. Well, that
Can't
would
work.
that would be
Can't
right.
work.
Let me have it, man. Let me have it. So, all right.
All right. Now, what about local events? You haven't even talked.
I
for
know
one-
we got to get to local stuff after
my goodness, and
after
we're
the top of the
7
hour here.
o'clock.
I know. We got to go to local stuff next because, well, we're obligated as a station to cover local stuff. So we
That's
got to
right.
do it. So we'll be back with local stuff after the top of the news. Hey, don't forget, this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill. They're in the located in the Best Western Grand Tree on North 7th. Across from Walmart. That's where the locals go. Tell them Tom and Shane sent you in. They'll give you a glass with your drink. So trust me
Lucky
on that.
you.
Yeah, that's huge. Otherwise, you're just going to have to lick it off the bar, I guess.
That's right. Ugh.
Well, you, as
Oh, here
Kay
we
said.
go. Ooh.
Yeah, as Kay said, ew. All right. We'll be right back right after this. Stay tuned. 6 minutes after the hour, it is Monday, January 27, 2020, 33 degrees outside. Shane Tobin, half man, half amazing, is on the line with me in Vancouver, British Columbia. Tom Eagle up your morning mayor. This is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill. They're located in the Best Western Hotel on North 7th, right across from Walmart. And tell them Tom and
1583,
Shane
the highest.
set you in.
Gold's at $15.83. That's the highest price since 2013, up $10. Silver's over $18. Crude is $53 down, almost $1 in the U.S. And Brent is down over $1 in Europe, 59. So big problems for the oil industry. They need that $65 price on Brent to sell their oil. And natural gas, the 190, great for the winter you're having, but not for the fracking of gas in your country. So we'll watch it, folks, because the market's down big time, and you got to look at this with some concern. 430 points, and away we go. Call your broker.
Okay. Yeah. Get a hold of Mike.
Yeah, call Mike.
Everybody wants to be like Mike. Well, guess what, Shane?
We got a caller, I guess.
No, we don't. Do we? Oh, we do have a caller. Yeah. I'm sorry. Let's go to the phones. 406-522-TALK. 406-522-8255. Call you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's going on?
Hey, so this is Andy, your favorite socialist.
Andy, how you doing, man? Long time no hear. You never call. You never write.
So I find it ironic that when these texts come in and you're complaining about everyone spending all these, showing frustration. I shouldn't say complaining. You're showing frustration when all these texts come in blaming Trump.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I'm in conversations with right wingers like you guys,
Benghazi, Obama, and Hillary Clinton are at fault for everything. So what's it going to be? If you're going to sit there and get frustrated about people calling in and texting in, complaining about Trump and his guilt, it's for the past 4 years I've heard nothing but blame on Benghazi and Obama. So what's going to
we don't defend we don't defend Trump. We criticize him as much as anybody, but we just
I'm saying that you guys tend to have a tendency to blame Hillary Clinton, and I'm no fan of Hillary Clinton, but you guys sit here and tend to blame them when you're not really looking at the whole story on Trump either. So, let's tend to be fair. Let's be fair and balanced here.
Well, what story should we look at on Trump?
I think you really need to look at the obstruction of justice. I mean, he
How so?
Tried he tried to pay off a foreign adversary to do an investigation on a political opponent. That's the kind of stuff you hear about in Iran. I don't have a whole lot of time this morning, guys.
No, that's okay. But I just want to understand where you're coming from. And so Biden's saying the same thing about firing the attorney, even though he had the blessing of the president to do that. That's okay.
Well, sure. Well, it's pretty cut and dry, guys.
Well, it is cut and dried. I mean, Biden said it on TV.
See, here you are blaming Biden.
I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just comparing that what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah. Trump is our president. Mm-hmm. Biden's not our president.
He was vice president at the time he did this act.
But you know what? Trump is our president right now.
Yeah, he is.
He is the ultimate law of the land.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have him obstructing justice, it's just going to set more precedent for more tyranny and just unlawful acts by our president.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I believe
it's going to perpetuate tyranny.
I believe there's going to be more impeachments as we go down the road with future presidents.
Well,
if it's this easy to do it.
Well, and here's the thing: is I don't necessarily agree. Well, I think Trump needs to be held accountable, but it's not going to be through the process of impeachment. It's a dead end road. The Democrats are going to need 67 senators to vote in their direction. It's not going to happen.
Well, let me ask you one other question because I know you got to go. Okay, if I'm the president of the United States and let's say I'm dealing with Argentina, okay. Argentina and I get together and I say, what do you need? And Argentina says, we need $80 billion. And I say, okay, if I give you $80 billion, what's going to happen with that money? What are you going to do? Now, is that quid pro quo?
Well, when you ask the foreign adversary to investigate your political opponent, heck yeah.
Well, what if I said, "Hey, Argentina, I don't like this political group. Could you do something with them and get your money?"
That's quid pro quo.
Of course it is. That's what I'm saying. But that's what happens. That's what foreign aid is. It's all quid pro quo. I'm not giving you blanket money. When we gave money to Guatemala, didn't we say, "Hey, you need to clean up the gangs down there. We'll give you the money, but you got to clean up the gangs."
And then we send in a right-wing coup to overturn their government. I mean,
well, then
there's quid pro quo absolutely within the Ukraine investigation, and you just explained it to a T.
Yeah, I did, and it's going on all the time by every politician ever.
Does that make it right?
Doesn't make it right, but that's the way the world works. If I go into a store and I want to buy something, the guy and I make a deal on that product.
That's a false equivalence. This is the President of the United States.
Okay, the President goes in to buy something.
No, this is dealing with a foreign adversary. It's not like Trump going into McDonald's and trying to get a fillet of fish for, whatever.
Price, yeah.
Right. No, he contacted a foreign adversary to investigate a political opponent.
Okay, so I'll give you a clear indication. I'll give you a clear indication of what you're talking about that no one in your media has covered. So all of these people coming from Central America to the United States, he went to and he said, I want a third-party agreement like we have with Canada. second country agreement. If you want more foreign aid from the United States, I want a treaty from all three of your countries. And guess what? They signed them. And the result of that is he continued the U.S. foreign aid to the countries. But the treaty he's talking about means that if anyone leaves their country and goes through a country to get to the U.S., they have to be returned. And that's the agreement we have with Canada. And so as a result of that, they're all being bused back to their countries and not now coming to your country across Mexico. So, that's a quid pro quo. And now it's stopped all these, groups of 10, 15, 20,000 people crossing Mexico to get to the U.S. because they can't now.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to the topic at hand. Why won't
that's a perfect example of quid pro quo.
Sure. Why won't the Republicans allow witnesses on the witness stand during the Senate trial? Why won't they not allow
Well, that
John
hasn't been
Bolton
determined yet
on the stand?
Yeah,
they haven't voted on it yet.
No, they announced this morning that they're pretty sure they are going to allow witnesses.
Pretty sure. No,
Yeah.
they have to allow witnesses.
Why?
I mean, there's no way, because that's how our justice system operates.
Okay, so you're okay with Biden
Right?
and Vice President Biden being called?
You know what? Put them on the stand. We need to get
I
to the
agree.
bottom of all of this.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
if the Senate Republicans are going to deny witnesses, I mean,
Why didn't the Democrats call witnesses during their?
Benghazi? See, you're going back.
No,
to that.
I'm not going to
Exactly
Benghazi.
right.
I'm talking about the
hearings on
impeachment. Why didn't they
impeachment,
call
yeah.
witnesses during the impeachment?
Who? The Democrats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they weren't on trial. The Senate is holding the trial, not the
No, that's not
but
what
you've
Tom's
got
asking
to,
you.
in order to promote the charges, they should have brought in witnesses. Why didn't they bring in the whistleblower who started the whole thing? Why didn't they bring in, some of those people? They brought in Vindman, who claimed the whistleblower got the information from him.
Again.
Yeah.
It's not up to the U.S. House of Representatives.
Yes, it is. They formed the indictment. They formed the charges.
So it goes to the Senate trial.
It's a grand jury. It's a grand jury.
His friends telling him what to say. By the way, did you notice last week two things happened that were really important? Number one, it turns out that the House never voted to approve subpoenas. So the subpoenas they sent to demand people or information were invalid. That's number one. And then
So
the
it's
second
the Democrats' fault.
Well, of course it is. They did a poor job. Number two.
Well, they did, yeah. I
The
agree.
Department of Justice announced last week that the FISA warrants were invalidated, had no predicate. So the people they were investigating, including your president, was illegal. So, I mean, there's so much here. You're absolutely right. There should be witnesses called. I think you bring it all out.
Yeah, let's go.
Absolutely.
All right, we agree on that. Hey, thanks, Andy. I know you got to go. Hey, appreciate the call. Thanks for the debate.
Excellent call, Andy.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
All right, thanks for the call. Caller, you're on the air. What's up?
Yeah, just a quick comment. It's great to hear Andy put out his information
sure.
like that. I'm glad to see where he's coming from. He seemed to forget about the fact that the Democrats refused witnesses for the Republicans when they were asking for them. He seemed to forget that the Democrats were shutting down questions that they didn't like during their thing, and he seems to remember that everybody is corrupt. But he doesn't seem to put it towards the guys who started this whole thing. Apparently only Trump is corrupt.
Schiff hasn't provided all the testimony that he had in his hearings in his secret bunker. I mean, imagine that. I mean, they're not even providing all the testimonies they did.
Yeah, it's really kind of a disgrace to everything our country is supposed to stand for, that these people are allowed to get away with all of this. And we talk about all of the other things that are taking place in this country right now. Like, they're trying to say that Trump's fixing the up and coming election, and yet California is still letting millions of people register to vote who are illegal immigrants. I'm just wondering when.
But it makes me look brilliant But it makes me look brilliant because I told everybody a month ago that the Democrats are going to deny the 2020 election. They're going to 100%.
They're already trying to fix it. I mean,
I know.
We've seen what they did with Acorn under Barack Obama in fixing the mail-in ballot.
That's right.
We've seen that they're unwilling to give us the voting registration of people in California, and we know millions of people are voting illegally. And somehow Donald Trump is the one who's undermining the elections and the sanctity of the country, you know? Somehow he's the one doing it. I mean, and I'm just wondering, they keep saying he's a dictator. I mean, what is he dictating? What laws have been changed in this country that are allowing the president to demand everybody do what he says? I mean, I don't feel like I'm walking around in like a Soviet Union brown suit and having to do everything the government says. I feel pretty free right now.
I know one thing he's dictating. Texas. Did you see the other day he did 124 Texas on Saturday?
Yeah. Well, here's what's really funny is, you know, really, if we talk about the tariffs, well, a tariff is a quid pro quo. You know, if you don't do what we say, we're going to charge you extra money until you start behaving the right way.
Huge point. Huge point.
Maybe we should have a quid pro quo with Mexico that if they don't, you know, change their laws that allow, you know, a husband to rape his wife and not be, you know, put in jail for it, maybe we should demand Mexico change those laws before we give them any more money. I mean, that would sure protect a lot of innocent women being raped in Mexico. You know, there are a lot of things that we use our, you know, these things for all of the time. And for these guys to pretend this is a one-time show where Trump is doing this, I mean, it's just a ridiculous joke. You know, if these guys could actually get a budget done within 6 months of when it's due, I might have some respect for what they're saying, but they can't even do their own damn jobs anymore. No. All they can do is overspend, not get anything done on time. I mean, we're going to be voting for a continuing resolution on spending here pretty soon because these guys aren't doing their job. Yet they're becoming millionaires. Their kids are becoming millionaires, and we're going to pay their health insurance for the rest of their lives.
Doesn't that make you feel better?
Like I've fallen asleep and woken up in the damn Twilight Zone, man. So,
you know, man. Thanks for the
good
call.
Luck.
All right, thanks so much. All right. That was a great call. All right, Jay, we got another caller waiting, but we've got to take a quick break here. So we'll be right back right after this. 23 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock is Monday, January 27th, 33 degrees outside. We got a caller patiently waiting on the line. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. 406-522-8255. Caller, you are on the air. What's up?
Tom, this is Paul.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
I'm great. Shane and I were talking about there's a whole lot of people don't understand what's going on here. The House is the one that is supposed to hold the trial. They didn't do their job. The only difference between the system as it's set up in the House and the Senate for impeachment is the fact that the Senate is the jury, and they do not sit in on the trial in the House. We don't do that in the civil system because we have the jury there watching the whole event.
Right.
This system is supposed to hold the trial in the House, and then the House goes and presents the information to the Senate, and they decide.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's supposed to work. But
the system works a lot like the grand jury, where the grand jury is silent. Information that comes out of the grand jury is not privy to the public, and the grand jury votes to indict, and then it goes before the House to present their side and the Senate to present their side.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Democrats have been using a lot of misdirection to confuse the issue, to try to convince people that the Senate's not going to do their job. The Senate's trying to do their job. Mm-hmm. The Democrats are trying to confuse the issue. Yeah. They're using it for campaign. That's what they're doing.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
You bet.
Appreciate it. All right. Again. Yeah. From our text line, 478-8298, love it when Andy calls and slams you two with a truth bomb. All right. Is PBS covering the impeachment today like they did ad nauseum for the Democrats? I would guess that they are. I don't know. I don't keep up with PBS all that much. On the day of the release of Auschwitz, it's pretty amazing that the Democrats are putting on their little Hitler charade, 1.1 million Jews killed in Auschwitz, alone for failing to say the words that Hitler wanted to hear, punishable by death. I guess that's why some of us that are older and have some experience with history are so concerned about what we are seeing in today's Democrat Party, about the leadership of Hillary, then Obama, and now AOC. Any comment, Jane? See, when I stop, you talk.
I'm just concerned about the market right now because it's heading down serious, down 401. NASDAQ 100 is down 173.
Yeah, that's not serious.
So we're heading toward a 2% day. So all of Europe is down 2 to 5%. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a virus that's causing this.
Well, there's a lot of concern because it affects markets directly as to travel and all sorts of things, and purchasing and getting and putting two people together to buy and sell something. I think that's the issue that they're concerned about. And where does China fit in with this too?
Right, and the yield on the 10-year bond is down marginal.
Mm-hmm.
And
I saw that.
Bond, so that means people are buying U.S. sovereign debt maybe for security.
From our text line, 478-8298, Democrats wanted to call witnesses, but the White House blocked it. Well, they didn't block it. It's executive privilege. Why have whistleblower laws if you can't remain anonymous? It isn't a matter of remaining anonymous. It's a matter of protecting your employment. That if you blow the whistle, they can't fire you. Do you really believe that if you're going to bring a charge against a company, the whistleblower's got to testify? But his job is protected. So
and we pointed at 72 IGs to cover all your government departments, and the law was specifically written to say that the IG that gets a whistleblower whistle they have to investigate cannot reveal his name. That doesn't mean it can't be revealed, but it just can't be revealed by the investigative general.
I'm going to say the homeless people in Hollywood know this guy's name.
Everybody does.
Yeah. Illegals can't vote in national elections in California. Stop the lies. When did we ever say illegals could vote in elections in California? I mean, we talked about that months ago. In fact, when that first came out, when they allowed illegals to vote in California, we covered that they weren't allowed to vote in federal elections.
That's right.
I don't know not sure what that person is thinking. Must not be a regular listener. What do you think?
I don't know.
I just sprayed my coffee. Shane says he criticizes Trump. Baloney. Shane is competing with Sean Hannity for wife number 4. Biden fired a guy who is corrupt. That detail escapes Republicans. It doesn't matter if the guy was corrupt or not. It's still a quid pro quo.
That's right.
And how does the texter know the guy was corrupt?
That's right.
Anyway.
He didn't fire him. He threatened the government that if they didn't fire him, they wouldn't get their money. That's right.
So what? And the government says, well, we don't think he's corrupt. Oh, okay, here's the money.
Yeah, the House accused Trump of the 15,000 Ukrainians that died when Russia invaded Crimea. No, that falls on Obama because he wouldn't provide them with any those weapons to blow up their tanks and anti-personnel carriers that were flooding into the Crimea. So that's the kind of stuff we try to cover.
Gotta go. We'll be right back right after these important words. Stay tuned. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. It is Monday, January 27, 2020, and it appears, Shane, we're going to bag the local.
And 5 things you need to know.
Which we never, ever get to.
Well, that's because we have so many great phone callers.
Well, that's true.
Fantastic. Great marvelous Monday.
Yeah, great phone calls, great texts and everything. Block witnesses equal executive privilege. Well, look up Eric's Holder.
Well, and Trump has yet to, claim executive privilege. So we got to wait and see what happens. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Everyone knows Shokin was corrupt. Biden was tasked to fire him or not give the money. Trump used quid pro quo to cheat. Cheat how?
Great. I love it. It's theater.
Cheat how? Exactly. Tell me how. Tell me how a foreign government fixes an election with 300 million people. Just please help me out.
Yeah, this is better than Hamilton on Broadway because it's live.
Yeah. Probably can't catch the virus through Skype, but could make a deal.
Yeah.
Well, probably not. I guess. What are the odds that 4 people's kids have worked for a Ukraine oil company? Kerry, Pelosi, Biden, Romney, and they're all anti-Trumpers.
Well, you got to read it about Biden's brother. He opens up a construction company to build houses in Iraq. Mm-hmm. No background in construction or building houses, and gets $1 billion contract to build 100,000 homes in Iraq. I mean, this is great stuff. I love it.
This is good. From our text line, 478-8298. Hey, Tom, I thought that Beto O'Rourke was the Democrats' second coming of JFK. Well, only up until he showed a video of his teeth being cleaned. That was over for him. Or maybe even Bobby, but he proved to be a little weird. Yeah, that's the problem. Now you say that Pete Buttigieg is the left's greatest hope for the party nomination because of his Kennedy-like quantities. I don't think so. So since you bet Shane lunch, can I publicly get in on that deal?
Exactly.
All right, 2 lunches are my limit, though. Shane is wife number 4, greatest text ever. we like that one. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Let's see. The United States allows for the ability to right our wrongs, and yes, they do. Imagine how low property taxes would be if we didn't have to pay for that socialist program's K-12 education. Parents getting free education for their kids on our backs. And, that's, let's see. Elections are not won by Democrats or Republicans. I think I read this before, but it's worth a repeat. It's the independents that decide the elections, and the Russian targeted them. Read the Mueller report. It explains how they did it. Really? Well, then I'm guessing that that information was not lost on the Democratic pundits who are going to use the same tactics to win in 2020. So,
that's great.
Hey, be thankful for what you got.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure they're not going to. If there's a formula out there that works, I don't know. From our app chat line, Bolton gets fired and makes millions on a book. Okay, there you are. Well, isn't that the way it goes? Gosh, how many people have been? McCabe was fired. He's on CNN.
That's right.
Come on. I mean, getting fired. If I get fired, I'll probably end up on one of the TV stations.
That's right. And McCabe only has secondhand information.
Well, yeah. So do I. But
yeah, exactly.
That's where it works. So, or that's the way it works, I should say. So, all right. Hey, we got to remind you about our app chat. You just saw somebody use it quite exactly there. AM 1450 KMMS. Do a search on Google Play or the Apple Store, or just do a search on your phone for AM 1450 KMMS, and it'll pull up the app. Download that. And you can listen to us anywhere you are. If the signal's weak or you're in an area with mountains or something where we don't come in as clearly as we could, you can listen to us on the phone, pop in the earphones, and away you go. And also, you can call us directly from the app chat line. Just hit the call button, and it'll say, do you want to call 522-TALK? And you say yes, and boom, there you are. You can send us messages. You can get the weather anytime you want it. Get our website, get all of our podcasts. So if you're out working and it's, whatever you're listening to isn't getting it for you, you can listen to all our podcasts as you work. So anytime, 24/7. And we just passed 3,000 downloads, by the way.
Yes,
so we're very excited about that. So, all right, we got to take another short break. This one's only 90 seconds. We'll be right back. 17 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Monday, January 27, 2020, 34 degrees outside. This is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And hey, if you missed any of our shows, trust me, you can get them online. We put them up, I usually have it up by 10:15 or so after the show. So by all means, get over there. If there's any part you missed, we'll be happy to have that for you. It's also commercial free. So, hey, there's no breaks. You can just listen to us for 2.5 hours if you like. So... What could be more fun than that, huh, Shane?
Exactly. It's great.
Not the same. Biden wasn't getting any benefit from the firing. He was doing the bidding of his boss and the International Monetary Fund. Well, what did Trump get for... What's the difference between asking for an investigation into a corrupt Ukrainian and a corrupt American that's in Ukraine? Try to separate that out for me.
You know what they have in common? They get a share of the kickback.
Yeah. Biden whatever that is, PPQ, was not for personal benefit. Understand the distinction. Well, I would say it's probably personal benefit for Obama. Why do you care if there's a corrupt politician in Ukraine?
Well,
why did Obama care if there's a corrupt politician in the Ukraine?
Well, but it was personal because his son got a $3 million contract.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah. This is what makes honest heads explode. When Biden what Biden did is not the same as Trump. Different motives benefit. So if they do it, we can too. Tom, don't play dumb. You know that announcing an investigation on Biden damages Biden. Really? Do we not know that? And Biden's still in the lead, and Biden's beating Trump in almost every poll out there? Do we not know that already?
Elizabeth Warren's daughter Amelia is married to a guy named Sushil Tyagi, and he is actually an Indian from India. Mm-hmm. And in 2008, he, as president of Tricolor Films, they did a movie called The Song of Sparrows, which is an anti-Semitic film.
All right.
And nobody in the press wants to talk about it. Like, I love this stuff. Who can write it?
I don't know, but anyway. Yeah, Tom, don't play dumb. You know that announcing an investigation on Biden damages Biden. Well, it hasn't damaged you so far. You're not that stupid. Trump had one goal, Joe Biden, no other corruption in the Ukraine. Well, really? Okay. Well, so you're going to try to make the case Ukraine's not a corrupt country? Holy mackerel. One texter claimed that it wasn't quid pro quo when Joe Little Robin Biden wanted the guy fired because he was corrupt. That's so funny because the reason President Trump wants the Biden investigated is also because they're corrupt. I guess Trump can't be guilty of the charges he's facing, nor any quid pro quo by the same line of logic. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox. What's up?
Hey, Tom and Shane, how you doing?
Good.
I think we're having a good Monday. Lots of phone calls. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, Shane. Yeah, this is Tony calling from Livingston.
Go ahead, Tony.
I got a great question of the day for tomorrow.
Sure.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm writing it down.
Would this impeachment be happening if we had term limits in the House?
Whoa. That would be interesting. Yeah.
You know what? A good question, and specific to the question, my answer would be no. And I expect that you'll have 5 to 6 senators from the Democratic Party voting against impeachment to say to the House, don't do this again. Don't come to us with this kind of an impeachment article that isn't viable or doesn't meet some basic criteria. That's what I think, because they politicize it, like you said, Tom. There'll be more impeachments because they threatened to impeach him on something else, which this doesn't work.
Yeah, it's the demolition party, just to correct.
It is the demolition party.
Right, but what I was thinking, you have Pelosi and Nadler and Schiff. You have people that have been in there for 20, 30 years. They're like entrenched, and they're like a gang. So if you had some limits on this, maybe it'll tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, Tom, we get a gold star.
Okay.
Because the president was at the March for Life on Friday.
Yeah.
And guess what he brought up?
Abortion.
Women's suffrage. And that next year's the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage.
That's right.
The first time a politician has brought it up. I couldn't believe it. Gold star.
All right.
Sounds great.
All right. Thanks for the call. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. 522 Talk is the number. Call you on the air. What's up?
Hey, guys. Kevin.
Kevin.
Hey.
Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning. Everyone forgets about the little treaty that Bill Clinton, not George W. Bush or Trump or Reagan signed. Bill Clinton signed that we had to pursue corruption in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And so he's pursuing corruption in Ukraine. We can't help it that Biden is one of the most corrupt fools out there. Whether he's running against Biden or not, there was corruption. Mm-hmm. What did the Obama administration plan to get out of the Ukraine? Oh, there's some ringing going on.
I got it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with China. I mean, this wasn't a one-off. There's China. You know what was China getting out of it? That from the Obama administration by paying off Biden, and did China and Ukraine pay off Obama? I mean, why would Obama just sit there and be like, "Oh, Joe, you get rich. I'll just sit back here and maybe write a book or two." No, they're all corrupt. They all got paid off, and I bet there's more than just China and the Ukraine. I mean, and what other countries paid them off, and how long has this been going on? Probably forever. Probably on both sides. But right now, we're dealing with Biden, and any of those on the left would say if this was Trump, he was vice president, and this was going on, and his son, come on, you telling me you'd be like, no, there's nothing to it. This is ridiculous. This is just a Democrat going after Trump. I mean, it's unbelievable. But you know what's funny is that no one's talking about this. I've got lefty friends. I've got lefty family members. This impeachment isn't even on their radar, so it's going to go bye-bye.
Yeah.
Trump's going to win, and we better win the House, too, by the way. I think we're okay in Montana, but if the Democrats control the House again, it's just going to be another 4 years of all this all over again, which sucks.
Amen. All right. Even your dog agrees.
My puppy doesn't like it. All right.
All right. Thanks for the call, Kevin. Appreciate it. All right. We got to take another break. We got to get the Rush update in here before the top of the hour. So, hey. For all those of you who like the Rush indoctrination of hate and all of that, here's Rush. 5 minutes before the top of the hour. I kept trying to turn you up, Shade. You kept having your sound up. Stop it. You got headphones on. Why do you need your sound up?
I was a Rush.
He is a treat, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah. By the way, I'll only go here because it's the end of the show. Okay.
Okay.
Dominic was never proven to do anything wrong with kids. One mother of a teen actor accused him, and he said that Charlie Sheen was a pedophile. No one will ever know who's telling the truth, so let's not slam someone for hearsay. So that's all I'm gonna say on that tone.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, you guys better tone it down with all the Biden corruption talk. Otherwise, he may challenge you to a push-up challenge or want to take you out behind the gym. That's from Steve-O. Steve-O's going to take care of us. Yeah. I'm sure Biden could do way more push-ups than I can. If the Russians hired thousands of trolls to call and text radio stations to bash Trump cult would finally understand what Mueller documented. What?
Exactly.
So what, the parties didn't have thousands bashing Trump? You tell me the Democratic Party didn't have thousands of callers bashing Trump? Jeez. Give me a break. Kevin, daily dose of whataboutism. Hunter Con companies, kind of like how Trump con suckers in his university. Trump cults praise him for it.
Well, the only difference, though, is Trump paid everyone back. I wonder if Hunter's going to give his million.
I love it how the Democrats think the vice president of the United States hires his zero-experience crackhead son at $50,000 a month. And they think all the corruption is on President Trump. Amazing. Yes, the Ukraine had lots of corruption, yet Trump didn't care. Just Biden, who was beating him in the polls. This is so simple. Calder blind to the truth. Well, isn't Biden still beating Trump in the polls, even with this information? Yeah, he is.
Nope.
Yeah, he is.
No, the polls this weekend apparently have Trump beating all of the guys running on the Democratic side. And his approval rating's at 45%.
25%?
45.
Oh, 45%.
That's higher than Obama or Bush at this time in their presidency. So he's doing. You're right. You make him a victim, people are going to just turn to him. Americans don't like victims being abused.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to double check on that. But I don't think. Let's see. National general election polls right now. The only one I see that Trump is beating Biden is the USA Today. Emerson, ABC News, Fox News, CNN, IDB Tip, and Quinnipiac all show Biden beating him substantially.
Yeah, right. Well, we got to go. It's been a great show. We've had all these phone calls. It's been a magnificent Monday, Mayor. We'll talk tomorrow because we have so much to talk about, especially local news.
That's right. Well, and the impeachment in the Senate's going to start today in earnest. So
live in the moment, live to be happy, live to work, and be happy, be safe, and God bless the Gallatin Valley, and you too, Mayor.
All right. You better write that down, that ending down, so you can get it all in. All right, man. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Hey, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. All right. See you tomorrow morning. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us, guys. Hey, it's been quite a morning. We didn't get to local stuff. Maybe we'll have to try to do that tomorrow. So we'll see. But anyway, hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for all the texts. Thanks for all the phone calls, app chat, all of that. Hey, we really appreciate it. Don't forget, we're brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill. And, hey, if you need to place an order for pickup or make a reservations or 6 or more, or if you want to just see their menu, go online to theclubtavernandgrill.com, theclubtavernandgrill.com, and check them out. They're located in the Best Western Grand Tree on North 7th across from Walmart. It's where the locals go, and tell them Tom and Shane sent you by. They'll be really good to you. All right, not that they wouldn't anyway, but they'll be extra good to you if you mention us. All right, we got to go, and we'll see everybody bright and early tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.